Hello everyone, I'm going to introduce Chris Ogilvie to you now. Chris is going to be taking you for the work-based learning unit, and I thought it would be nice for you to hear from her and hear some of the things that you're going to be learning about.
Hello, my name's Chris Ogilvie and I'll be taking you for the Work-Based Learning Unit on this degree programme.
Chris, can you tell us a little bit about this unit? For example, what are the aims of the work-based learning module?
Well, as the name suggests, it's a unit based on your work and it's asking you to look at your work and think about it a bit more deeply. So more specifically, we want you to develop specific techniques for reflecting on your practice with a view to understanding it better and learning from it and deciding what, if anything, you might do differently or the same next time. We also want you to develop an understanding of the nature of organisations and how they work, because you need to understand your own organisation and, of course, client organisations, which, as I'm sure you'll have discovered, often operate in a completely different way to your own, and it must feel like going to a foreign country sometimes, and each one's going to be not like the last one. And finally, thinking about you as consultants working with clients, on this course we're going to unwrap that and think more about the role of the consultant, what that means, what it looks like, and the different stages of working with a client through a consultancy project.
What's this task got to do with marketing and digital marketing?
And the answer is two things. One is it's absolutely nothing to do with marketing, and the other thing is it's absolutely everything to do with you achieving a marketing result and a marketing project. Just let me ask you a question. Have you ever asked a question of a client and then found you've opened a whole can of worms? That there's obviously political agendas going on, that the person you thought was your client isn't really your client, that the decision maker wasn't really the decision maker, that for some reason the specification of the project has changed and you don't quite know why, or someone else has been brought in. Any number of these issues really relate to the area that I'm thinking of. So any task has three dimensions to it. There's a technical side, there's a human side, that's actually working with the people, and there's an organisational side. So in this unit we're not looking at the technical side at all. What we're looking at is the processes of working with people, looking at your own interpersonal skills, and the knowledge and understanding that you need in order to work effectively in organisations and with client organisations.
Chris, can you tell us a little bit more about what you mean by the human and organisational side of things?
More specifically, there's four different areas that we'll be covering. The first one is interpersonal skills, and that's all about how we are working with other people. The second one is thinking skills. Now, you have lots of skills of thinking already, I know that, but these are specific thinking tools which might be useful at different stages of a project. Then we're looking at some knowledge and theories and models around understanding organisations. And finally, we're looking at managing the actual process of the consultancy. So that's four things in broad terms that we're going to be looking at. Okay, so to unpack each of these individually so that you have a better idea of what's involved. Interpersonal skills, that involves things like building rapport with a client, building a relationship, questioning a client, questioning techniques, listening techniques, reading and using body language, negotiating with a client, and you might have to do that at a number of stages. Influencing and persuading skills, you might have a solution and you've got to kind of sell it to your client. And finally, the whole area of emotional intelligence, of actually understanding and managing your own feelings and being able to work with possibly negative feelings coming from other people, either colleagues or clients. So that's quite a big bag, that one. Now, I mentioned thinking skills, and under thinking skills we could look at the skills of formulating a proposal, a project proposal, analysing data, diagnostic tools, because the client may come with a problem and you've actually got to find out what the problem is before you can help finding solutions. Then tools for analysing that data once you've gathered it, creative problem solving, and evaluation tools of how do you know you've done a good job. And these are all techniques that are available which you can pick off the shelf if you feel you need them. And then we have another bag of stuff called understanding organisations, And this is looking at the nature of organisations. What are the features that all companies, large or small, have about them that are identifiable? What kind of interventions can we engage with in our clients? Because our clients don't always want the same kind of activity from us. Can we understand the structure of the organisation, the culture of the organisation? I'm sure you'll have found that as you go around different organisations, it might feel that you've got to learn a new language and they have different belief systems and different tribal structures. Recognising that there's an informal organisation as well as a formal one, and that what you have on paper in terms of the authority and the decision-making structure may not actually be how it works. Then there's the ability to identify the stakeholders in a project and identify perhaps which ones have the most influence and the most power. Analysing and being able to deal with conflict, because that can be both positive and negative in terms of moving a project forward. We'll also be looking at implementing change and the whole area of resistance to change. So a fascinating lot of topics there.
Can you tell us what consultancy is all about?
Right, the final of the 4 little bags of materials I have for you is managing the process of consultancy. And here we've mapped out the stages of consultancy in 7 little stages, recognising that any project is not quite as neat as this and that you might have to loop back to earlier stages at any point. But we go from entry, when the client first makes contact with your organisation, to the contracting stage, where you work out what you're going to do and for what fee. Then the diagnostic stage, solution finding, planning, implementing your plan, and then final stage is critique and evaluation. Now, not all consultancies will you go through all 7 stages, but for the sake of this unit, we're going to look at each stage and what skills and knowledge and understanding particularly are involved with each stage. Now, at this point, you might well be asking yourself another question, and that is, that's an awful lot of stuff. Doesn't she know we've got jobs to do as well? Well, yes, it is an awful lot of stuff, but we're not expecting you to do it all. The learning design for this unit is that you construct your own learning journey. So basically, we'll be giving you some self-assessment tools, giving you a lot of materials, and it's up to you to find ones that interest you, ones that you think you need, and engage with those particular topics, read round them, drill down, and don't bother with the stuff that you feel you already know. So it's very much a case of, here's a lot of stuff, find out what you need and engage with that, and what you don't need, or you don't recognise you need, or you already know, just leave to one side. Okay.
Whenever you're ready.
Okay, finally then, I'll just go through how this unit is structured. We meet for the first time on the 24th of April for an initial workshop, which is a lot of fun, and I hope you'll enjoy it. Then we go on to online tutorials and discussions, and the final workshop is on the 10th of July. Then you've got some time until the assignment is due in on the 31st of August. And during that time, you're likely to be on holiday, and I'm likely to be on holiday. But I'll let you know when I'm away, and the rest of the time I will be contactable by email or by phone by arrangement. So if you need to check anything with me at any time, please do. So I'm really looking forward to meeting you all and to working with you.